hers because she looks like Katie.
What's up, everybody? Another live stream, another live dream, as the kids say. That's my new tagline. Write that one down, Dave. Make a t-shirt. Call Cafe Press or whoever does this. That's not our company at all, is it?
Oh.
Call Micah. Micah, you in here? Starting off strong, thanks to Miko. Was having a totally different conversation before we went on, so yeah, this whole live streaming thing caught me by surprise. But I am still the one who pushes the buttons, I guess. So yeah, this will be possibly the last live stream for a week. And part of the reason is I'm leaving on Friday afternoon, or Friday morning, heading out to Johnstown, PA for Higher Ground Hundo, which I made a video about last year and I said was probably the hardest ride I've ever done. I've already thought about filming that ride, and I've already thought about the title and thumbnail, and I'm like, the toughest social ride in the world, I think is what I'll call that video. But, so, yeah, heading out there, but then we're not coming back after Johnstown, or I'm going out with Dylan from Columbus, and then Aaron is picking us up on Sunday, and we are heading out towards New York. We're going to spend a week in the Hudson Valley and then head to Nutmeg in Connecticut, which is Ronnie Romance's, Ronnie Ultra and Amico, whatever you want to call them, ride out there in Connecticut. So that'll be our next thing. So be gone for a week. The weather's looking iffy, so I am actually going to bring all the stuff I need to stream. If you've been following along for a while, I've got the laptop, so I'm going to bring that anyways in case I could edit the Higher Ground video in some bad weather. So I'm also going to bring a mic for voiceover. So really the only other thing I need to bring is my audio interface here, which is this big, so I might as well bring it. So we're supposed to have good Wi-Fi out there, so if we do, maybe I'll stream next Tuesday, but wouldn't count on it. But the idea is over the week to maybe still get a video out that's like in real time, kind of, not in real time, but from that week. I will have a couple other videos that I'm going to finish up in the next couple of days before we leave that'll be scheduled to come out, but if I could actually do some while I'm on the road, I'll just bump those. So yeah, say what's up to everybody. That's the intro. That's what the title and thumbnail are, a little bit about this video, which bike to bring on such a varied trip. I already know, so it's not like this is some big up in the air thing, but it's kind of also what I'm trying to think in the idea of what you guys would think, what would you do on a trip like this. So yeah, what's up, Penny Red Bear? What's up, Dr. Bob? Dimitri's in here. Cycling Brian, hey, how's it going? Yeah, so I'm going to bring my gunner, which is my sweet bar bike, 55 millimeter tires. So like, even though I think that bike predates this term, and also gunner didn't care about what I don't think anyone thought. They just made bikes. But I think I'm going to bring that. I even look at the ride in Higher Ground in Pennsylvania this weekend. That ride is hard to just choose one bike for. You know, it's like if it was a Tour de France time trial up a mountain where they do the flat section in the mountain and the guys like now switch. They ride a time trial bike, hop off, and then jump on a climbing bike. Like, that's kind of how I feel about this ride, because I think about 15 miles into Higher Ground, we go down these snowmobile trails that are just gnarly as can be, rocky, covered in leaves. And I'm like, that's where I want the gunner, right? Like a little upright, a little being able to look around, fatter tires. But then later in that ride, there's these country road climbs that are like double-digit climbs, and then you're out on the top of the ridges. And I was alone last year, where drop bars and skinnier tires and all that makes sense. So it's kind of going to be the theme for the whole week. And instead of always being underbiked, I'm preferring to be like leaning on the once in a while being overbiked end of the spectrum for this trip and that ride. So yeah. Dimitri, did I hear you commit to a daily vlog? Oh, man. Oh, Mark, you made it. Good morning from Korea. Mark had commented on the one of the last videos asking what time the streams were because he's out in Korea. He was saying it's getting chilly out there, too. So, yeah. Large Marge is going single speed. Well, we could look at what Large Marge just built. You guys think I have a lot of bikes. Large Marge is getting to the point where he's going to have more all cities than I have all my bikes combined. But yeah, so he just scored this bike on eBay, and I didn't realize he already had it built up. He showed it to me with like some of the components on it when I was in Dirty River. I guess that would have been late last week, right? So yeah, check that out. It's pretty sweet, single speed. This was my favorite style of all city paint job. I like the purple, but I love that, like just the center logo and the white and the forks like that, and the but let's be honest, Large, you're probably bringing the Monsoon and not the well, this is the wait, is this the first, not the first Super Pro? Is this the first Nature Boy? Now my mind. All cities, everything confuses me, as you guys probably well know. But yeah, names are not my strong suit. But I'm guessing Large is still bringing his Monsoon. Hey, what's up, Dylan? Dylan said, gonna be bringing it's going to be cold, wet Saturday. Yeah, and Dylan told me he's gonna bring all the rain gear. I only have a good rain jacket. I think what I'm going to do is do like all the wool. So wool tights, wool socks. So if I get wet at Higher Ground, wool still insulates when it's wet. So that's going to be my strategy. It worked in Connecticut a couple years ago. The first year we went out to Nutmeg. Nutmeg was really nice weather. Cold in the mornings, but good for riding. And then me and Large went and like toured Connecticut, credit card toured. We stayed in Airbnbs and hotels. But one day we were out there in like high 40s rain the whole time. I had the rain jacket, but I had the wool, like thicker, like really nice wool tights on, and they actually kept me warm even though they were soaked. So, hey, what's up, Rick? D'Amico said I just need a support team to have the bikes at the ready. So that is one of the things with like the bike selection that I was talking about is, so me and Dylan are going out to Higher Ground. I have 2 spots on my rack. So Dylan's bike and my bike. And then Erin's picking us up with Large, and she has a 4 bike rack. So if I was going alone, say to Higher Ground, and then maybe a couple days and coming back, that I would have the option to bring the Raleigh and the Gunner, but it is for everyone has to choose one bike to rule them all, as people have taken. What is that from? One thing to rule them, one bike to rule them all. Are you trying to help me out, Dave? Or are you over there just scrolling Instagram? Looking at ex-girlfriend's accounts. I love a good callback. Sam Diaz, what's up? Says all cities are the best. Yeah. And they're going away. You know, one thing, I was thinking about this from the last video when I changed the title of that last live stream from Thursday, because we talked so much about all cities, so I put it in the title. But as someone who doesn't buy new bikes, I am generally bummed that all cities going away, because like I said, the local shop that I go to, like bikes like the Space Horse and the Monsoon are just good bikes to get people on because they're so versatile. They're going to last forever, endlessly upgradable. But in another way, as someone who doesn't buy new bikes, I'm like, all cities going away, but just like, you know, we're just showing Large Marge's like latest bike here, which is an older bike. For me, it's like the used market is what I like. So it's the all cities are going to be out there. So eventually, like Space Horses are going to become the coolest bike in the world again, right? I don't know that, but probably, you know, just the way everything goes, like Specialized is this big brand that also makes some horrible decisions with bikes, but how cool were Hard Rocks and Rock Hoppers and Stump Jumpers over the last few years, right? But how cool were they actually in the mid-90s? I'm sure there was some more boutique brand making cool shit. So, yeah. That's my optimistic view on secondhand market, all cities going down the road. But Mark said, yeah, man, cool riding this morning. Sitting here with a coffee trying to work one eye on the live stream. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't, so I've been to Europe, and I have actually a friend I grew up with, a really good friend who's Korean. But I've never thought about the time change because we were high school buddies. So when he was still going back to Korea, we didn't have the internet or anything. So time change wasn't relevant to me because it wasn't like, oh, when could I chat with him online? It didn't matter. So I'm not sure what, in like the Far East like that, what is, it must be like a 180 because you are saying morning and you did say morning in your content. But Dimitri was asking about Large's bar tape. How long will that last? Dylan said saved search eBay alerts is a financial decision. Yeah, I don't do that. Like, I don't, yeah. But I have, like, sometimes just clicked on eBay just the same way Large did. He put in a minimum bid and won. Or, like, I think it had a best offer, and he put in, like, half of what the guy wanted. That's the exact same way that I bought that Marin that I built up, that Pudgy gave me the spins wheels for. I put in an offer that I didn't think anyone would take. I have 2 bikes here that are like that. My French Jeton Tour de France is one where they had $300 on Craigslist, and I said $175, just thinking they wouldn't take it, and they did. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, not supposed to say that till after 10, but yeah. Oh yeah, Large's other bike he just bought up was the Electric Queen. He just got 2 new all cities in a row. But Cycling Brian said, thanks for the tip on the wool tights. So wool, really, we've talked about it on the channel a number of times, but is the thing for like if your clothes are going to get wet, wool is one of the few things that can retain its insulating, whatever you call that, ability, insulating ability when it's wet. So I had always read that, and I literally went out and bought they were expensive ones there. I think they're by Smart Wool, and they have like a waffling pattern and stuff like a 3D. They called it like 3D printed type thing, but that's not what it is. It's a weave. But to keep it kind of off your skin a little bit. And the ones I bought worked amazingly well. Like I said, we were literally miles and miles, like a whole day in the rain in chilly weather. Granted, not freezing weather, but they were soaked and they did keep me warm. I had switched to wool socks for like cold weather a long time ago. But yeah, so I'll do the wool base layers and I'll do like the Surly zipper wool, one of the best garments I own. Garments. Wow. Look at me. That's not a word, but it is. Those zipper Surly wool tops are amazing, like double layered wool. But yeah. But I have never tried the bicycle poncho, but I was just, like I showed in the last video, photographing that 100-mile race, and a lot of the runners were just wearing ponchos, and I'm like, it rained all night. I just feel so bad for these people out doing 100 miles. And then like most of them were down in the Cuyahoga Valley where it's dark, and it's even colder in the valley, always like, what did we say, Dave? Like almost 5 degrees sometimes it felt like colder in the valley, right?
If not 10, 15.
If not 10 to 15, yeah. And so the worst part of the race, the dark part, it's got to be the most mentally taxing, but the poncho. And I was like thinking about that, and I was looking at Helmet Kids and a couple other people I follow online riding in the ponchos, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, something that's loose and big to keep like water off the top. It would keep it off your shorts too, because I'm talking about the wool tights, but when you wear the shorts, those get saturated and that's sitting on top. So, because I'm just not someone who's going to wear something without something over it. So I'm not just going to wear those wool tights without, shorts. I won't wear jeans, obviously, for this, but. Nick L said, hey there, will you be running tubes or tubeless? I will actually be running tubes. So I ran this setup, the same tires, the same bike, tubeless for a while, had no problem. And then all of a sudden they stopped holding, and they're the Rainiers. And I was just thinking with the gnarly stuff I'm riding, I just think, I don't know, it's not working. Like I was losing too much PSI, too much air between rides that I was constantly pumping them up. And I finally put tubes in these tires. So I actually stopped in Dirty River today to buy an extra tube. I already have an extra one. But I was just thinking, I do Higher Ground, say I flat there. And then we're going to the Hudson Valley on Sunday night. A lot of bike shops aren't open on Sunday or Monday. So I did pick up some extra tubes. I am more confident in the tubeless setup. It's going to feel weird to go ride a bunch of gnarly stuff on a trip with tubes in the bike, but I don't know. I've been struggling with tubeless a little bit lately. Oh, I just kicked that camera. Did I do that? Did I do that? A little Oracle callback. Hi, Patty. Patty, you said you're pretty tempted to get another All City, and they're like Dirty River has been running these during the swap the other week. They ran a great sale in All Cities. I think there's going to be. This is the time to kind of swoop on them. So. Mark said, Yehuda, I'm not familiar. Yehuda Moon, love this poncho, but you can't get along with them. So I'm not an arrow person, but I've never ridden a poncho, and yeah, maybe that kind of, I don't know, being kept dry when I think of something like Higher Ground Hundo might be more important to me than that flapping in the wind. I don't know. We'll see. I almost have half tempted now to see if there are any rain ponchos I've been handed anywhere around here, because you get them tiny, the little plastic ones you could put anywhere. Not that I'm a big plastic proponent, but if I already have anything, yeah. Dr. Bob said you used ponchos before there were bike specific ponchos, yeah. Oh, and Mark told me it's 10:10 a.m. in Korea. Yeah, so 13-hour difference, huh? Hey, what's up, Nathan Mace? Rick said, oh yeah, I forgot I could pull these up as I'm talking. I already forgot about it. Would I buy a squeaky bike? I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means, Dave? Did I miss something?
I took that to mean like a new bike.
Oh, new bike? Yeah. It's not my cup of tea. But you guys should, from Dirty River Bicycle Works. Not sponsored. Except that sometimes he hooks it up for me. Charged me full price for my tube today, though, so not sponsored today. I thought only merino wool was good wet. You're probably right. I only buy merino wool stuff, so yeah. I'm not talking old school military wool. I don't know. I assume. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But most, if you're talking about buying like higher end or even lower end, this is a Wool 365, an Amazon brand base layer is merino as well, but still $40 long sleeve. So, yeah. How's it going, Fa? Cycling Brian said has been using wool socks in the winter, but have worn street clothes or similar otherwise. I don't have any winter cycling clothes, but I've always made do over the years with cargo pants. Yeah, and I think you, Cycling Brian, right, you have a similar winter to us here. I've switched so much to just slowly buying the wool stuff. It's expensive, the merino wool stuff, so Rick doesn't get on my case again. But yeah, it's expensive, but it makes such a difference. One of the big things that I've talked about before is with me and my friends, we go places and we go inside. So if you start to build up a lot of heat and you start to get a little sweat and then you go sit in somewhere hot, you try to pull off your layers as fast as you can, but you still like get like a little damp. That's where like having the merino close to your skin is really important. Because when I started cycling, I didn't think anything about like clothing. And as I just wore my jeans and my cotton t-shirts and all that stuff. And when the weather's in between, that doesn't matter. If you're riding when the weather's in the 20s and you head back outside with cotton, you're in a lot of trouble. Because that dampness is going to stay close to you and it's just going to not insulate at all and get really cold. And that's where the wool, like the smart wool and merino wool stuff, really shines. But it's expensive. It just depends on what kind of riding you do. I always say this too, like with roadies, it doesn't matter at all, like with a lot of this stuff, because they're workout clothes and they're going out and they're doing like a hard ride. And so if it's 20 degrees and you're wearing all these thermal tights and thermal windbreaking stuff, you would freeze in that stuff standing around at a concert outdoors or going ice skating. But if you're constantly building up heat and then just going home, it doesn't matter. If you're going to stop at the bar, if you're going to worry about getting a flat, I'm somebody who just carries bags, carries down jackets, all that kind of stuff. So, did I finish the point there clearly, logically? Maybe.
A little bit.
Oh, Patty, you said a local shop offered you a great price trying to decide on a space horse or a super professional. Or just upgrade the components on something you've already got. Yeah. The great prices on like getting a great deal on an All-City right now, like I said, is just it's a steel frame that's going to last you forever. So, yeah, that would be what I'd be weighing. It's like it wouldn't just be a short-term decision. It would be like a long-term decision. Bicycle Dad said wool is itchy. Merino's not. That's the whole thing with the finely. It's a totally different kind of. It's merino. It's a different species of sheep, right? Is that where wool comes from, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a different species. So.
Joshua kinda subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, so when you think of your thick old school wool, sweater being itchy. If it's against your skin, merino's not like that. The what do you call that? The strings the fabric's made out of?
Fiber.
Fiber. Yeah, it's very small, and that's what gives merino like some of its really important properties.
This is gonna sound weird. Do you buy into it works in the summertime too?
Yeah, like
'Cause I find wool to be too hot in the summer, and I
You
think
find-
that's what a previous comment was alluding to.
Wool being too hot in the summer.
Yeah,
So,
so
like-
then just relying on regular street clothes or athletic.
Yeah. So like summer wool is different. They make it definitely. You're trying to wear something that's a little thinner, short sleeve. But yeah, I actually on long trips still, I don't have a lot of it, but the wool T-shirts I really really like. Yeah, I think it does work in the summer, and thin wool socks do work in the summer. I don't wear them all the time. I have enough summer socks that I can go through them. One thing I do like about merino is you could wear it a bunch of times without it getting stinky. That's a benefit of it in the summer as well, especially on bike tours. I've switched to a lot of wool on for summer bike tours because I'll wear it for a day, give it a rest, wear it the next like 2 days, and it doesn't have any stench to it. So, but again, like a merino wool T-shirt could be $60, $70, $80, $90. So it's not easy to stomach the cost of that for summer riding when you're like, I'll just wear a cotton shirt and then throw it in the laundry after, depending on how hot it is and how acclimated you are to hot weather. But Ron Stuff said Rick wants you to approve his squeaky Rivendell.
A lot of talk about waterproof socks.
Oh,
You familiar?
I bought a set and never used them. Dr. Bob, right, real quick, was saying that small, lightweight poncho, but you still want lightweight, waterproof stuff, which again is super expensive, and I just don't have a lot of it. I should. Oh, is this what you're saying, Cam Carr? What's up? Anyone use waterproof socks? Just discover them, and it sounds like they are pretty good. I bought ones that with a couple years ago with my REI. I always forget that word. They give you 20% back at the end of the year.
Rebate?
Rebate, isn't it? Everyone's going to be saying it like crazy now before I get to it. But we were just talking about me not keeping up. But yes, and I haven't worn their like a bamboo like thing. Everyone's told me they still get swampy, and I touch them, and they don't even feel good against my fingers, let alone imagine putting my feet in them. I don't know. Everyone told me like waterproof socks, and don't take this as like gospel. Thanks, Jim.
Jim subscribed to the channel.
That they just get like swampy, and it's like, it's my problem with like really good rain gear. Like I know you said, Dr. Bob said soft shell, but and Gore-Tex and all that nice stuff and everything with the DRW like rain protection. But anything that truly keeps you dry, even my Rafa rain jacket that I got on a huge discount, is so hot that it has to be cold and rainy to make it worthwhile. Because most of the time, it's way more worth getting wet from the rain than it is from your sweat. And that's one of my big things with the wool tights and stuff. Because I'm like, if I wore truly water-resistant rain pants, it would have to be like 30 degrees and mid-30s and raining for those to be a bigger benefit to me than wool, because my legs just don't get that cold, but the heat that like truly waterproof stuff traps is just too much. I know about the good materials, they're good, they all wear out, they all don't truly keep you dry. Gore-Tex doesn't even truly keep you dry. Only impenetrable like water barriers and the rubbery stuff do, and it's so hot. So, Dimitri said you've worn snowboard pants on rides. Yeah. Mark said Jan Heine makes those lovely blue winter Radineering jerseys from wool. There's an old pic of him, ice-covered jersey, just wicked sweat freezing on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm literally wearing one. I mean, not Jan Heine's, but this is a Raleigh wool jersey right here, and the same thing. I would rely on this more than truly waterproof. I mean, like the truly like soft fabrics that are supposed to keep you dry. I know I haven't bought the most expensive ones in the world ever, but still on some level, yeah. Water resistant and waterproof are two different things. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Malk? Malk said, I wear the same 3 things every day anymore, so pricey wool long sleeves isn't a big deal. I found that in my friends group, since Otis over at Dirty River had started stocking, I already brought him up, and it's not even like sponsored like in any way. Like I'm just like, it's just a fact. Those zippered surly wool jerseys, like once the weather changes, like now every single one of my friends every day, like it's the outside layer when it's fall. It becomes the inside layer covered by other things when it gets colder. And I had always held off because I think they're like $90 maybe. Don't quote me on that. But same thing. Once I got one, I literally wore it all the time. And it would be like, if it was really cold, I would have one of these underneath and then the windbreaker on the outside. They're really that good. So Dylan's talking about the socks here. So I have tried Showers Pass waterproof socks. They are pretty thick, so you have to account for shoe size. Also not really breathable. I think a waterproof shoe with a wool sock would be better. And I think that's kind of where I was going with that, even though I'm like not really good experience. And same thing, I bought a decent set of socks and I just didn't feel like they were going to be breathable. And I have highly water resistant shoes in my one pair of chrome shoes. They do good for a while, but they're also low top. So if you're getting splashed and you're not running fenders, it doesn't matter how water resistant your shoes are if the water's getting in from the top, which is one of my problems. My 5'10" high tops are my best bet. Those are my winter shoes. Wear them all the time. They're waterproof and highly insulated. Really, really like them. So. Rick said blue rubber socks. Did anyone drop his emoji? You guys gonna make me do all the work? Pudgy said fleece. What I watched, so I talked about this on the channel before. I watch a lot of backpacking videos. I don't do any backpacking, but it's only been, as you got anyone who bike pack knows, the last few years were like really specific bike packing gear for like different weather has really come into its own. So I've just been in the habit of watching backpacking stuff for a while, but I'm drawing a blank. Fleece also has a downside, right? Is fleece? I'm trying to remember if it's that it gets dirty or it doesn't insulate when it's wet. I assume you're bringing it up, Pudgy, because it does insulate when it's wet. But when I was looking at the hierarchy of wool, synthetics, and fleece, they all have their downsides. Like wool wears out really quick. This base layer I'm wearing right now has all these holes in it, and it's not long for this world, and it's expensive. And I'm trying to remember what the big downside of fleece was. I'm sure someone's already going to enter this before I get to it. That's your job.
If I remember correctly, I believe fleece can crush and it loses all its...
So it's like down. If it gets matted, it
Kinda,
doesn't have any
yeah,
insulation.
something like that.
Yeah. It needs loft.
Oh, he's saying he meant that's the strands of the fiber.
Oh.
But he said fiber in it, so it's fiber.
Fiber.
It's fiber.
Oh, Rigda's up in here. What's up, Rigda? Let's see what Twin Six makes a lot of nice winter gear. I use waterproof socks for winter slush, too. Not great for plunging feet underwater, but great for Northeast Ohio riding, in his opinion. Okay. Yeah, and up in Cleveland, you guys do a lot of riding in the slush, so... Twin 6. All right, I'll keep that in mind. I think, yeah. Oh, I guess I would back off. So what we're going to do this weekend is going to be cold or chilly fall weather. Whereas like keeping dry, I think in like very extremely cold weather is a different thing, right? Keeping your feet dry from external factors at 25 or 32 in slushy, because 25 would be cold enough, it wouldn't be slushy. Salt makes stuff slushy, so our roads do get like that. That's probably where the waterproof stuff comes into its own. I'm thinking waterproof socks are not going to work in the 40s and the 50s because they're going to make you sweat too much. But if we're talking high 30s salted roads and low 30s snow melting, some sleet, that's probably where they really come into their own. And this is just me guessing, but also with lots of winter experience. So, Malk said you've always worn wool chamois. Who do you buy them by? Because I just can't. I don't see stuff like that on the market. It's very rare these days. Nathan said I like wool because it's antimicrobial. Yeah, that goes into the whole odor and all that stuff. And Rick said it's Rivendell, not Rivendell. You guys have pounded that Well, it's large, actually. It's pounded. It's not Rivendell. But I still watch a lot of other cycling YouTube channels that say Rivendell. So I've done a good job of getting Rivendell in my head. But Cam Carr said I've worn merino wool t-shirts in the summer Florida heat, not an issue. Yeah, they just make them thinner, and obviously short sleeves make it different. I like the fact too that they're quick dry. So when you wear a merino wool t-shirt, you got it sweaty, it dries really fast if you stop in somewhere or you're riding a little less hard or you get into the shade. And then same thing we were talking about before too, then it doesn't, on one ride it's not going to smell. So Pudgy's got me with the dividends, REI's dividends. Otis gets on my case for using REI, but there's still, once in a while, you're out on the road, you need tubes, you need something for the trip, you need extra food, and there's nothing around. REI still comes in handy. I support your local shops as much as possible, but what?
When you're out in the middle of nowhere, where are you finding REI?
We were leaving Buffalo one time. It was a Monday. All the shops were closed. We rode by all the shops. And then along the trail, it was just like riding from here down the towpath. Like you get to that Montrose area, but there happened to be a bike path.
Okay.
We were able to cut over to an REI, and Aaron enlarged, and everyone had me buy all this stuff because I bought the membership, and I get that little dividend at the end of the year. So,
now, aside from obviously bike-specific tubes and stuff, do you find that the backpacking, day hiking stuff, does that kind of translate over into riding? Like jackets and,
Yeah, in a way. There's enough cycling clothing now that is better just because they make the backs longer and the fronts
right,
cut
specific
higher,
cuts and stuff, yeah.
But, yeah, I guess when I first got into bike, my tent is a backpacking tent, But
Sure.
it works for me because I ride big bikes so the poles fit in the triangle. Whereas Pudgy bought the same exact tent I had when they made a bike packing specific one, and the poles fold one more time, and it fits on most normal people's bikes way better. I luck out with that. But sleeping mats and all that, the sleeping pads we inflate, they're all backpacker stuff,
I guess that question stems too from, and kind of what you were talking about being wet. No matter what you're wearing, if you got water pooling on you, it's gonna get through.
Yeah.
And just being on a bike, just the way you're sitting, versus, walking, hiking, whatever it is, the water's gonna get through. So at what point, other than the cuts and the longer back and stuff, at what point is it beneficial to get bike specific versus just hiking pants or whatever?
That's what I wondered when do the ponchos and stuff start to make sense.
Right.
If it's going to be ruin your day, the stuff that does looks a little weird and is a little uncomfortable, what makes the most sense? So. I was looking at Eric Anderson's comment of icebreaker stuff, which I'm totally unfamiliar with. Rick Urbanowski. This is the other thing, Dave. If we get a thing that lets you control and has sound pads, like Rick said, rewards, you could hit that.
I like Mulk's answer. Wampum.
Wampum? Did he say wampum? That's a whole lot of wampum.
That's a whole lot of wampum.
Closed-toed sandals. Is that a fancy way to say Crocs? Oh, there it is, Mark. RPI wampum. I don't mind getting wet, not as long as I'm freezing. Same, yeah. Nathan said he wears sealskin full shoe covers. Yeah, when we went up to Nutmeg the first time, they were talking about like sealskin gloves and all that stuff. So, Rick said the Surly jerseys are $165. I don't.
Depends on where you get them.
Yeah, I don't.
Universal has them for 90.
I think Otis sells them for like $90, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you already told me about Pudgy's comment here. Yeah. Okay, down can crush. Fleece does not crush, but sucks when wet and deteriorates over time. All right. Oh, Micah's up in here. Speaking of the genuine article, what are you laughing at? I can't even imagine. Does anyone have recommendations for wet weather pants? This one thing that I'm going out into, like, we're not bike packing. We're going to be camping and riding, but we're not bike packing. But I am going to be getting wet on long rides. So this is a really good question. I've still stayed away from, like I've already been talking about, from waterproof pants. I don't know. Oh, Inksley's up in here with have I checked on the name of my waterproof pad or my model of my sleeping pad? I haven't yet. I feel like the sleeping pad talk is the new Brooks talk. Rick, you dry your merino? Oh, I am so protective of my merino. Not the early stuff I owned. I didn't realize I was supposed to treat it any different. And I remember Aaron finally saying something, and I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, that's why this stuff got ruined. But I do hang dry it, and so we're on the one side of the basement. The laundry room for the tenants is like on the other side of this wall. But since this is radiant heated through here, boilers. What I do with all like my merino stuff in the winter is I wash it, but then I just hang it. I drape it over the heat pipes. So in the basement, so like you're supposed to lay it flat. All that I do that sometimes once in a while, but basically all my merino stuff, especially the socks, I just hang over the heat pipes, which is a benefit. Unless you live in an old 1920s building, you don't get. So. What did Mark say here? My time in Colorado taught me to stay away from anything that says waterproof. Typically just means possible hypothermia. Sounds like New Dave is taking his pants off. Oh, look at that. When I pull this up, it gives Pudgy this, or do you see this? The special chat, he gets this little, what do you call that? Emblem? Banner? Either way, I like it. Baby seal skin. Yeah. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but seal skin really only protects if the seal was clubbed. How? Too soon? Oh, come on. I mean, they're killing real humans all over the world right now. That didn't make it better, did it?
No, it didn't.
Baby seals are cute. Man, I've got to stop. I almost went way too far with that. I wear a bunch of cheap decathlon stuff on the bike. Yeah, see, that's my problem, Mark. So, wool does wear out, but I also find like the cheap synthetic stuff wears out too. So I think about this with bike components and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, yes, you can go on Amazon. Like Amazon makes knockoffs of every nice camera bag I have. But you're going to buy it 3 times in the length of the period that you buy the more expensive stuff, depending on what it is. Not always. Some branded stuff you're just paying for the brand. But that is a thing to me where I'm like, the investment in the better stuff once in a while saves you money over the long term. You're like, this is hard to stomach the $90 now, or the $400 Grotech equal brakes I have on my bike. I feel like those are going to save me money over time because they don't need to go into the bike shop. I would buy TRP spires 10 times over. Sorry, Pudgy. But yeah. Oh, second Brian said, no, this would, yeah, sorry. Before I go down that rabbit hole too much. No Crocs for me, more like knockoff Keen sandals. Killing baby seals for gloves, that's weird. And Micah said, speaking of getting wet, good to see you, Tim. Is this what you were laughing at earlier? I owe Micah a couple emails, which I've gotten so busy I have not gotten to. But I am sorry, Micah. You are a priority. Just apparently.
Just not right now.
Just not right now. That sounds horrible. I just got. I would do that before I go, though. So. Here comes some pants options. Popping them up here. Yeah, I would have to say, yeah, the UK, like, that's why, yeah, the UK and the Pacific Northwest. That's why Dustin Klein's channel, he does a lot of, like wet weather gear reviews, and, you know, at first I was like, this isn't that relevant to me, because we get a lot of rain here in Northeast Ohio, but we don't get the amount that I can't, like, not ride when it's cold and rainy. It's one of the things I said, like, why I finally cracked on the trainer to still push the pedals a little bit when I can't get out because I really don't enjoy it. But if I did live in the UK or the Pacific Northwest, I would definitely be figuring out this kind of thing. I think it's why I'm unprepared for like a week like next week because I'm like, I didn't used to travel and ride my bike that much, and now I do, and I haven't like upped my game, so. Best way to keep your pants dry is to take them off. Making uninterrupted eye contact with him. You have no idea, Pudgy. Waterproof, Christopher Webb. Waterproof pants, you mean like the pens? Not waterproof underpants. Yeah, we talked. So I have this curse I think I brought up on the channel before that I made this 5 years of bike packing video, what I've learned. I felt like it was going to be a video that would punch a little above its weight class for my channel. And I said in that video, why would anyone bring those folding sleeping pads that are big and bulky when you could just fill one with air and it's so comfortable? You know, again, I don't bike tour in Arizona, like in cactus places, like, you know, Patty lives and stuff like that, who's taught me about, like, how the, you know, problems with that. Also, insulation factors. At that time, when I made the video, I never did, like, cold weather bike packing. So I said this, and I asked this question. Leave a comment down below if anyone knows why you would use these kind of sleeping pads. And now that video is, like, getting near 400,000 views. So twice a day, I get someone telling me why you should use a waffle sleeping pad over an inflatable one. But anyways, since I bought the brand that we've never confirmed sleeping pad that gets inflated, mine has never deflated on me. So Donna Vangula MTB said, you got to make a video going over your kit and some camping stuff. Yeah, every time we go on a bike trip, I usually do go over my bike packing setup. And if you just type in bike touring, bike camping at the top of the channel, you'll see some of them. But also on every trip I've done with my gang, and I was just talking to Dave about this at dinner tonight, like I bring my microphones, bring the camera, and I'm like, let's do everyone's setup in like one night, like when we get into camp early, let's do it. And I get into camp, and if it's a place where we're gonna have a beer, I crack a beer. If we're gonna go swimming, we like change into our swimming clothes, and I don't do it. Really, I do need to do it. Like I've done it with my stuff because I do it here in the studio and explain what I'm taking with me and all that. But it would be fun to do it on the road, and maybe we just need to plan an overnighter as a video because people ask about it all the time, and it would make sense. So, yeah. Inksley said the same thing. So, and I get those comments all the time. I really need to do it, but I only buy the seals when they're stored in a cold, dark barn. They were never in the wild. Farm fresh, yeah. Chris McCollum, what's up? Baby seal, what's the deal? Drink your meal. Man, I love that this recognizes the members chats. That's so cool. And like I said, a low priority. That's why I knew too, like next day, I should have got to Michael's email next day and not let it slip. But sometimes I let things slip. Hey, what's up, IUP? Oh, out in Edinburgh. Endura MT 500 trousers are expensive but excellent in use. It's a good recommendation. Dr. Bob scored some Gore-Tex pants at the thrift store. Nice. I've got a lot of clothes I wear from the thrift store, but I never find the high-end stuff there. Hunting gear is sometimes cheaper, especially after the season. I think it meant fall. Yeah. About time Stream Elements gets up in this piece. What's up, Dave?
You gonna wear camo? You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's rich like you. Rich like you. Pudgy said he has a prehistoric 1995 Thermarest. I do too, and it's what I'll be bringing to Higher Ground and Nutmeg because it'll be car camping, but it's not bike packable. So the Thermarest is slightly insulated, kind of inflates with just a couple soft blows, if you know what I mean. Like I said, cactus places, sheep species, club seals are all good takeaways from tonight. Distracted by a helicopter. Cycling Brian said he still likes inflatable pads. That's how I am too, because like I said, most of the time we do camp in like grass or like soft places. I don't know. But they even when you don't, it just evens everything out. Like, yeah, I think like when it comes to like our values and stuff, I understand why people go the other way, but the bulkiness of the waffle folding pads is just not my bag, man. Reckon. I like it when Rick tries to rip on us, but then I'm also like, hey, should we visit Philly? And he's like, well, everybody I know has been stabbed to death. So. But you said Thriftstone is where all the crap gadgets from Brookstones is now. Are now. I'm going to speak the language as it was designed to be spoken. Chris said signing up for C to PDX 200 miles of gravel and road. Goal is 1 day in single speed. You single speed guys. Mark said hunting gear, but also skiing base layers in the spring. I bet that would make sense. I've never looked into it, but it was interesting. Me and Dave worked a third shift job at a ski resort, and we rode the lifts up and then worked our way down and made snow all night. And so we'd wear pretty heavy stuff like Carhartts and all that. But you had to be like we had lunch at what, like 2 in the morning, and then you'd go out when it was like 3 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'd have to ride a lift, and it was like the most brutal part of the night. But then you would climb up and start like working on like turning on the water, like directing the thing and like doing the work. And then you'd warm up pretty quick. It was like the same thing I think about some of this kind of stuff. It's like so hard to dress for when the weather changes or your activity level changes. So Bicycle Dad said, I'm too fat to get cycling clothes, winter or summer, 46-inch waist. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I assume this is where hunting gear comes in, right? Funny because it's true.
But that's a good point. Most of that stuff is almost impossible to find in, I hate to say,
plus size,
right?
yeah.
But yeah,
no, it's a huge thing in the cycling industry, like that people have been talking about for a while. Is, you look at Rafa, you can't wear that.
Right.
They're extra larges for like me,
Right.
Like,
but even just the casual rider, myself, I guess, I don't want to wear something that's super skin tight and arrow.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to, for one. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
So to find something that, being somewhat bigger, and then just find something, as bigger and bigger, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I think that's where like more of the urban style cycling brands come into play, like Chrome and brands like that, because they do make stuff that is not made for racing. It's commuting style stuff.
Now, is that just by default because it's just like a commuter cut and not?
I think it's a commuter cut, but they also do have their sizing go all the way up, like where you, like literally, and like I've defended Rafa to a point on this channel, but it is like if you get a medium, this is like their medium is for like
right
a Colombian mountain climber. Still, it's not normal. Like, and they do make like more generous cut stuff in their other lines, but no, like you do like the cycling commuter stuff. One, I think it's a double response. Like, yes, it is, the cuts are more generous because it's just commuter stuff and it's supposed to have room, but I think they do go up farther in their sizes than like the pro cycling brands do. Roadie brands, not pro cycling, roadie brands. Like, it's changing a little bit, but like there was a huge thing with like a couple like just major fashion brands offering stuff for bigger people and like opening second lines, and they like ended up closing them down because like people weren't buying them. Like they couldn't figure, and they like oh, we're doing the right thing here. And like I just read a super long article on it, but it's been about 4 months, so I can't pull all the facts up. But with activewear in general, I don't think it's cycling specific. I just do think it is tough. Like if you are plus size, to get like activewear that like has the benefits of moisture wicking and like not chafing. I think it is a real problem with the industry and across.
So what are all these small independent brands? I mean, I guess I wouldn't group Rafa in that, but I thought that was kind of more geared towards not alternative cycling, but the alternative roadie. So all these, Instagram brands you find, is it just, we got cool colors and different patterns and everything's the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it, yeah. And yeah, same with Rafa. Like they act like they do sponsor like this all cycling movement and stuff, but it's all tight road kit. It's not
Right.
Even when Lachlan Morton's doing it, it's still an EF Pro kit. It's not. He's doing cool things. He's still paid to wear,
Sure.
and he's still this tiny fucking dude.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like so. Yeah, I know there are some brands out there that are pushing these boundaries. We've had a couple of chats on here. Pudgy's been on live, and then my dude from Tampa who does Swelter Cycling. They're just, and I know Jared from Hope has talked about it too. That there just is not that many options. I do feel like there's more now, but. Oh, Patty said, back to the sleeping pad thing. Sometimes I'll double up on waffle pad and inflatable, super comfy. I've heard people say that too. I guess now with like the gunner and the extra space I have, I could tie the waffle thing on. I just don't. I guess I just haven't bike packed too much in cold weather and needed it yet. Was there down almost 90 pounds? Haven't worn XL in 20 years, Chris said. Malk was asking me if I'm riding Michigan coast to coast in 24. To be determined. I did have FOMO last year, but we'll see. I don't know. Even photographing the 100-miler foot race this weekend, I was thinking like was inspiring me to go out and do coast to coast for some reason, so.
Oh, Mulk said he just watched that video or that interview. I'm surprised everybody didn't sign up right then and there that night. If you could, but
for
when Tony was over, Tony.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Chris said for clothes, check out All Bodies on Bikes. They have some good company reviews. Yeah, I have heard of them as well. Oh, Blackball's up in here. Yeah, so Blackball said, been lurking tonight. Shout out to Party Size Cycling. So Party Size Cycling, in anything he makes, he doesn't upcharge for the double XL and like triple XL. And that was the takeaway for me. So we did the same thing with the Gravel Badass t-shirts. They're the only ones I got made in bigger sizes. I don't carry a lot of inventory with my stuff. Doesn't sell that much clothing. But like I was inspired by him saying that, like, oh, that was a problem. The companies that sold us the t-shirt, as Micah knows, did charge us a lot more. So like the double XL and the triple XL, like are like, and same with Party Size, I said this, like we lose money on selling those by keeping the price the same, which is frustrating, right? So, but it's the world we live in.
Yeah, but with that mindset, shouldn't the price be based on medium large and then your extra small should be cheaper?
Yeah, why should an extra small be like $8?
Right.
Yeah, less material. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah. I think they're scale. I think they're not get it? Scale. But I do think like they're making tons of mediums and larges and they're not making as many. So I don't think it's material usage as much as like we're doing a different cut, but that's still bullshit. That's not a justification, but if you could only have one bike, standard, Erd, Urge Cross stainless steel gravel bike be a good bike touring? I don't know the bike actually, so I cannot answer. But as long as it can clear some decent tires, if you can only have one bike, to me, if everyone said you could only have one bike, it would be my.
Janky subscribed to the channel.
Sounds a little janky to me.
What, that bike or that thing?
No, mine would still be my Raleigh. If I could only have one, everyone's throw everything away. I'd even probably over the gunner. I'd be like 42 mil clearing bike, drop R's. That's probably where I'd go. Maybe not. I don't know. Change mine. Maybe the gunner. No, I'd go Raleigh. Yeah. So if it's a gravel bike that could clear decent tires. How far behind am I? Am I getting close?
A lot about different clothing brands.
Being pretty short and kind of thick, most cycling stuff just plain doesn't fit, even mountain bike stuff. But I've good luck with hiking, camping brands like Fagella Robin. Yeah. That's why I think that, like I said too, like I'm someone who could probably fit into a decent amount of cycling stuff. One of my problems is being proportionally long-legged. Just a fact. But yeah, looking at other stuff that can fit your needs but isn't called cycling but does the same thing, right?
That goes back to what I asked earlier.
Yeah.
At what point is it more beneficial to, spend the more money on somebody that does make a plus size, extra large cycling pant versus the Patagonia stuff or whatever?
Yeah. I would just say, yeah. I mean, spend the money on who's making what works for you. Whether they're putting...
Jonathan Valls became a member.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate you. If you DM me on Instagram or on Discord, I'll send you some stickers and patches and stuff. So, what is... Frosif said Zoe Hong is a fashion designer YouTuber who has a few videos on sizing in the fashion industry. Definitely be worth checking out then. Huh. So even though I don't know how to pronounce it, Valraven, lasts forever. Nice. I used to do, when I was a runner at Christopher Webb, I went to TJ Maxx a ton to find like really good stuff. But
I don't know. Is that a joke? 100% cotton? Like that's just...
yeah.
Just in life in general, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I have like so moved away from it. I still own lots of cotton t-shirts and I will go ride a 20-mile ride in a cotton t-shirt. But yeah, for doing endurance stuff. Speaking of Jonathan Walls, welcome to Altegra. We were just chatting tonight too about trying to add a couple more member benefits. So kind of some stuff that members could get, either the heavily discounted and then like totally new stuff. They'd be free to members or heavily discounted, and that could be sold to other people. We're trying to work on some of that stuff. I need to get up on more members' videos. This fall has been a little light in that, but yeah. Either way, appreciate you. But also, if you do go to the members chat, there anything we sell is 20% discounted, and then all the members chats and stuff like that are opened up to you now too. So thanks. Got something to say over there?
Well, is that Is that a path you want to go down? Throw that out. What are people interested in?
Yeah, I definitely like to. Yeah, you're. Big dudes definitely don't fit in Patagucci pants. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. So when it comes to, I actually don't own outside of the. I've been talking about it, but like outside of the cycling industry stuff, I haven't bought like Asterix. Is that what you call that brand?
Arc'teryx.
Arc'teryx. Like I don't have like Patagonia or Arc'teryx, all the stuff that like soccer moms wear that was made to like summit like mountains, but is now become a status symbol. Like I don't have those clothing. Like
that's also the thing. When that became, the uniform for, pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah.
Did the quality go down?
Are they pumping them out?
I would rather spend money on a set of. I can't even think of a brand off the top of the head, but.
Patagonia's kill baby seals. Rick wants free bikes for new members. I don't have free bikes.
I got enough of them laying around.
Jim became a member.
Here, we're giving away free bikes.
Yeah, Jim, there's no free bikes. I'm sorry. I'm broke over here. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Nathan said, Voller is a cycling company made in the USA. If you call them, they might be able to make something custom. But what would they charge you for that? You might be talking about something different, but if we're just talking about oversized clothing, or oversized. That's a horrible way to pronounce it, but you know what I mean. Like,
Oversized.
Oversized. Yeah, for clothing for fat motherfuckers. Like that's, yeah. Yeah. What I meant to say, have a drinking problem. Yeah, anyways, yeah. You know what I mean. I feel that option should exist. And again, I talked about this last week with the steel cycling thing. Like, I live in a bubble, but I also know a lot of cyclists who don't fit the usual mold. And I feel like there is a market. There's got to be a market. I think those kind of clothing are more important sometimes in that way. Like, we talked about, like, the reason people wear kit is, like, chafing and stuff like that, right? And it's, like, one of the reasons, like, when I was, like, working with this photographer this weekend, and he's like, how do you ride in jeans? But I think part of it is just the fact that I am born tall and lanky. Yeah. And jeans don't affect me riding. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Does that sound dumb, or is that kind of true? Whereas I think you probably, as you get bigger, you probably need things to stay in place more, right?
I don't really understand where you're going with the jeans and that.
I don't know. Jeans were just kind of a side note, but
I can't imagine not riding in jeans.
You're a jeans rider?
Yeah. But that's, I don't know. I'm also not riding 100 miles a day.
Yeah. And I don't go and do a century ride in jeans.
Right.
But I also don't own kit. I'm somewhere in between. I guess the whole thing is that I have a menu of every option I want available to me because they make stuff for my size. So it's like if something isn't comfortable, I could be like, oh, this would be I could try this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not limited, so. Jaybird, what's up? You said you're a fan of Topo dirt pants for riding in cold weather. Topo, I think they pronounce it actually, not Topo. But yeah. Man, Jim jumped right up here to Durace. We do need to up these membership benefits, Dave.
Jim gets a free bike.
Jim gets a bike. Send me your address. You'll get some stickers. And if someone sends me a free bike I don't like, members get first dibs. We did see our buddy Stoked on Spokes, Josh Ramiro, got a free commuter. I mean, Not free. I mean, I'm sure it's probably some strings attached. Made that video on the new Poseidon. So maybe we'll work that angle. And then I don't like it, then Jim gets it, right? Really selling these memberships. Rick said new members get a lap dance from Pudgy. I can't do that without his permission, but if he's willing. It's lonely down there in Mechanicsburg, we all know. So it is after 10 o'clock, right? Yeah, all right. We could have these kind of chats.
I don't know. This doesn't really fit in, but is Levi still making the commuter line or whatever?
I don't think Levi's makes a commuter line. You fold them up, they have the reflective layer on the inside and all that?
Yeah, I don't really know what the benefit of this.
Did someone ask?
No, I was just thinking. All the jeans talk.
Yeah, well, I was thinking this earlier too when we were talking about like value and like buying cycling stuff, because like cycling specific shorts, even from Chrome, you're like $90, right? $110,
right?
Like from all the good brands. But my jeans, when they wear out, I cut them off and I wear them as cycling shorts.
Right.
I ruin them in a season.
True.
The ass rips out, like whatever. And jeans, I ruin jeans sometimes from riding in them too much. I find a comfortable pair of jeans to ride in. I ruin, like it rips somewhere. Usually, actually, it's not even the butt. It's like right where the thigh is, and like they rip. So it goes back to what I was saying about value and like stuff that's made specifically. Like they reinforce all the gussets and the double seams and all that stuff in cycling gear, and even like double layers of material. None of my Chrome stuff has ever ripped. Every pair of Levi's I've ruined on the bike that I've ridden in regularly. So I think when it comes to the commuter ones, people love those because they put that reflective thing in there to let you know they were commuter, but they were reinforcing the spots that like were on the saddle all the time.
Yeah.
And I do think that's a problem too when we're talking about the plus size stuff. So if you buy the hiking type stuff, and they make it in plus size, that's not going to help the problem of like where the wear from cycling issues come in, because that's huge.
But that's more of a I don't know. But in this instance, you're upcycling. I hate to use that.
Upcycling.
Yeah, double entendre there. But you've already got it. You own it. You've worn it out for its knees bust out, whatever it is. And like you said, you cut the legs off, and now you got shorts and wear them in the summer. So it makes sense to use them in that regard and just wear them out.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't buy.
Yeah, I'm wasting something that wasn't that expensive to begin with. But yeah, when you're talking about.
But then you go, you get a pair of Old Navy jeans for $10 on sale or whatever, and you can buy 10 of those for one price of the Levi's commuter jean.
But do you want to just ruin a bunch of stuff and throw it away?
Yeah, why not?
The opposite of what I wrote this channel. Free bike, Cycling Brian. We don't know if that's going to be a benefit or not. You better become an earlier member, because it starts with the first member and it goes down the line. Obviously, Pudgy and Large to get the first free bikes. But a couple of you guys jumped the line because we brought it up tonight, so we'll see. Yep. I'm just a shill. BioLights. I have affiliate links down below. You need to start a clothing company with that name and use that slogan. I'm assuming that's what I just said. All you. Husky. I like that. A little husky. Big boned. Big boned clothing by Dave Goddess. So Micah succinctly said it more than I could. If your thighs touch, you wouldn't want to wear jeans, probably. That's the weird thing I was trying to get at without sounding like a jerk. It's like, yes, I'm kind of thin, and I could ride in jeans. I don't want jean material rubbing in places I don't want it to rub. You know what I mean? Depending on whose jean material it is, you know, Micah. Call me later. Oh, Unbound 60 said, did Sears have a brand called Husky? I didn't realize that. Remember across from the car wash, there used to be a shop called Harry's Big and Tall?
Yeah. I think Big and Tall stores still exist.
Are there Big and Tall stores?
Yeah.
Huh. I assume they had moved online.
They got.
It's a little niche for the brick and mortar market anymore. You know? Patty said, as a skinny young lad, I wore almost nothing but jeans and rode in them for quite a bit, even in hot weather. Now you don't even lounge in them. Yeah, it's funny. I was so jeans hardcore, especially when we worked on the farm. Laura, my girlfriend at the time, she used to be like, I remember her hearing her tell a friend. She was like, we get home and like until Tim goes to bed, he doesn't take his jeans off.
Oh,
I'm like,
I'll go to sleep in jeans.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm wearing my jeans.
Yeah, this whole comfort sweatpants, pajama,
I
whatever,
did have a little bit of change during the pandemic.
Yeah?
Like, the tights I would wear underneath like my winter riding stuff, which would be jeans, like my fleece line tights and stuff, pretty soon I'm just like walking around the studio, no one's coming in. Like I got this wool, like even like that's when I started buying these, they're like hanging down. Like I finally like took a self-portrait and I'm like, this is how it's going for me. How's it going for all you guys out there? I'm like, no, I've become like an idol. Like I'm gonna wear like, when this ends, I'm gonna be wearing jams to the supermarket.
I can't imagine not wearing jeans.
Yeah, I'm dolphins covered, like looking fluffy slippers. I don't care. It's over. Anyways. Chris said he's got thunder thighs. Stretchy jeans are fine. You know what's happened with stretchy jeans, though? So, my mom worked at the Gap forever, so it would get me stuff really cheap. Stretchy jeans are, like, comfortable. That shit wears out so fast.
They don't stand a chance.
Yeah, like, to a bike saddle, you got a leather Brooks on there.
Chris Wett did make a good point that jeans were made for ranches and ranchers who rode horses. Yeah, I think they can handle
leather
a bike.
Saddles. Yeah. Originally, but like
yeah,
jeans.
Jeans. Yeah, that's not the same thing. I don't think you want to ride a bike in raw.
Oh, here's that comment. Yeah. Do you mind beering me, Dave?
Sure.
I'm getting. Or I could go to the members chat and beer myself. Oh, we should. New members won't be on here. This is not a self-updating thing. This is something I make ahead of time, pre-baked, if you will. But let's do a little thank you for the members while we re-up on the beers and maybe even get a little bit weirder. What did they say?
Hey, just want to take a moment to thank our channel members. You see their names on the screen right now. It's their support that makes it so we could do these weekly live streams, have better graphics, have better cameras, use better music in the videos, and all the stuff like that. If you don't want to become a channel member, we also do have a little store below. You could support the channel that way, buy a sticker, bandana, or t-shirt, but I understand not everyone could financially support, so just hit the like button on this video right now. Thanks a lot. We'll be back in a moment with some more, hopefully, bike talk. Who knows? It's after 10, right?
I want a tuna boat. Oh, give me tuna boat. tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat.
What is up? I saw Alex Rigda mention Ripton. Erin just got a pair of their overalls and she's loving them. So, yeah, those are cycling specific. That's cycling specific jean stuff, right? So. Let's see if I can catch up. Rick said, I'm fat, but I don't chafe. I won't allow it. I don't know, Rick. When I met you, you were... I don't know if you qualify as fat. I know when we had some other chat, they're like, let's get to the fat chat. And I'm like, I don't know if you're technically fat. So, anyways. Pudgy said Rango makes... I pulled up some of these comments during the members thing, but... Let's see if we can cut up. Oh, there we go. Dylan said try some Ripton jorts, so I didn't see that comment. And I saw Rigda with his next comment is the one I saw. Yeah, so Erin's loving her Ripton stuff. But again, Stretch and Company for the big dogs. Ripton is, again, no problem. Is that pretty expensive stuff? I have no idea. I assume it is, but like how expensive is Ripton stuff? Like Aaron's overalls, is that like $150 stuff? I have no idea. Chrome, yeah, Chrome is good stuff. But Malk too, again, like Malk, you're like a big dude, but you're not like a, yeah, like you're not like a, like I said, I don't have the right terminology. I don't know, but like plus size, you're like normal, not Rafa normal, but like, yeah, Chrome normal, right? Ah, nice, Pudgy. Pudgy, did you have any luck? Are you going to be able to get your car fixed? Oh, so Micah said Levi's commuter jeans have good stretch and the DWR coating, but the ass wears relatively quickly. That makes them not count then. You know what I mean? Like the DWR helps, but you could do that shit yourself. It's just a spray. So yeah. If the ass wears out, it's not a benefit. So. See, Arjun said, I haven't worn jeans for cycling in about 7 years. I got so fed up with busting the crotch. Yeah, I hear you. I should give it up. But oh, this is what I was looking at. JMZ. Haven't seen you up here in forever. How you been doing? You still been riding? Hanging out? Good to have you back. Like, total pandemic buddy right there. So, online pandemic buddy who was here for it. So, 30-month member, as you could see. So, oh, they're laughing at jams. So Dylan said Ripton is 30 to 60 for shorts. Overalls are 150. Okay, so that's about what 30 to 60 for shorts is not bad at all. Because I'm trying to think of the brand that Aaron got me that are their collaboration with Bicycle Nomad, which basically means they put Bicycle Nomad's patch on it. But they were like $90 shorts, and I think even my Chrome shorts are like $60 shorts. So yeah, 30 to 60 for the Riptons. I would definitely look into those for next summer. Pudgy really isn't making it. That sucks. So Pudgy said, you didn't have insurance. Wait, you didn't have insurance? Well, you had to have liability if they rear-ended you. But yeah, doesn't matter. Stuff moves very slowly. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, heading to Nutmeg, Pudgy had to work. He was really originally hoping to go to Higher Ground next week, where his buddy Brian, who does Yellowbird Threadworks, is going to be there. So they were going to go and then head out to Connecticut for Nutmeg. Pudgy had to work, so he couldn't do the first part, but he was locked down in Nutmeg and he got rear-ended. It ruined not just his car, but it crushed, he had his rack on, so it ruined his rack as well. Total bummer, man. Oh, you said you're not paying, it's too much. Gotcha. Yeah, insurance is a fucking scam. So frustrating. It's so goddamn frustrating. Erin had a tree. She has full coverage. She just had a tree fall on her car, and we still don't have that fixed. I think we're gonna go out to Connecticut and with the broken window. So, Pudgy was saying the guy who hit him didn't have insurance. So yeah, total pain in the ass. Super bum, man. Well, excuse me. I was about to try to read that, and then I just swallowed a piece of dust. There was a bit on the Ravenous about Ronnie romance-style khaki shorts. Path guys in LA favor Dickies work shorts. I can imagine Dickies, yeah, because that is tough stuff. As long as it doesn't feel uncomfortable, it probably would last better than most other stuff. So, Ronnie style shorts are a bit much for most of us normies. They're so short. I've gotten shorter in the shorts as like that's for riding. Like I said, as someone who wore full jeans, like I was like, it was so funny. So speaking of full jeans, the photographer I worked with over the weekend, he looked down after he was like, man, you must run a lot warmer than I do at the finish line of this 100-mile run. And I was like, well, I just rode the last 5 miles right up here, so I peeled some layers off. And he was like, well, you're wearing jeans. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess that's not a big deal to me, because when I got back into cycling, I just come off working on a farm for, 10 years, and we only wore jeans down there because it's practical. In the summer, you think you're going to get hot on a farm, but it doesn't matter. If you have to be out in a field, you want your legs covered. Someone said ranchers and cowboys, same thing. You're out, you're getting brushed against stuff, you need your legs covered. So that's how I started riding bikes and all that. But what was my point with all this? Oh, he said I thought it also might be because you were some 20-year-old punk rocker who wouldn't bear to wear shorts. And I'm like, that too? That's also part of it.
That's a huge chunk of that.
That's a very, very good point. And I was like, I still don't go to the bar like that. I mean, come on, I have some self-respect. I haven't lost every ounce of, comfort over style since I've become a cyclist.
You used to...
Dogmatic, yeah.
you used to hate heavily on the people riding through.
Oh,
in their full kits and...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, listen, Lance. I don't need to see your wiener just because you're trying to eat some raspberries. I haven't changed that much. But what's up? We got Tony up in here. Yeah. Tony said, what are we yelling about tonight? pants, motherfucker. I still do, like, when you started hanging out with all those emo kids who would wear shorts when they played on stage and, like, go barefoot. The fuck was that?
Barefoot?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Well, but shorts.
The short, that's part of the uniform.
Yeah, you emo kids. The Ramones never wore shorts, and that's all I know.
Jorts and a plaid shirt.
Yeah, come on. Did you ever see have you ever seen one picture of the Clash in shorts? I rest my case.
I haven't worn shorts in public since your brother made fun of my sticks.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Did he call me your sticks?
Down at the farm. Those sticks haven't seen daylight in however long.
Me and Laura had gone up to Lake Erie somewhere, like where her boss owned a cottage, and I'm laying on the beach in like I think like a swim trunks, and I made like this little sand thing, and I remember someone had commented on my legs, and you said the same thing. You're like those legs haven't seen the sun in 8 years. Like give them a break. But it was blinding. It was to go back to that photo. Why is anyone still watching this? The Ramones never wore shorts, and look what happened to all of them. Yeah. Most famous punk band of all time, Tony. The one, whatever. Do I need to take this bait from someone like you? Isn't it karaoke night? What are you doing in here anyways? What's going on? What's next? I have 3 pairs of Duluth Firehouse pants. Look at see how I could switch gears. They're effing duty. Look real stupid. I wish you had spelled stupid with 2 O's. Like look real stupid. I believe you. You are heard. Carhartt still makes double fronts. All my archaeology friends love them. Oh yeah, you're out in the desert. Of course you have dinosaur digging buddies. Me and Patty, we did a live stream. You weren't. You probably. This is way before you would even know I was on YouTube, Dave. But we did a live stream, and the first hour is just like really interesting, like the difference between like riding here and riding out in the desert in Arizona, and the last hour is like, this land is misappropriated. Like, you are on native ground. Like we got went down that very political, which is all true. I'm just, Tony said, I'm saying they died, Tim. The Ramones are all dead. Turns out drugs and gay sex are not the way to longevity. 53rd and 3rd. That's on their first record. Come on. Tim hit a tutor on the beer break. I hit the beer on the beer break. That's the problem. Try flow snooze. That is the greatest moment. I saved that stream. I downloaded it. I wanted to put that piece up alone for the night that we ended up having a sniff test on bicycle chain loops. I think that lives in infamy as much as the Kit Kat tasting on New Year's in 2020. Have you ever seen this?
I haven't seen that.
We're like 2 hours deep. I'm drinking all these Hop and Frog, way too strong beers. we're over at Aaron's house. The first, we start building up our crust Bambora.
Oh,
And we're
okay.
doing a good job. And then we're smashed and we have a table. And then Ben busts out like, my friend in, actually I think it was Korea, sent me all these different flavored Kit Kats they only have over there. And then it like at like 1 a.m. becomes like a Kit Kat tasting like a stream.
I don't know. Huffing different lubes that's quality content right there.
Yeah, that was everyone was like, Triflow smells like nanners.
Oh, everybody had an opinion, so it wasn't too far out of left field.
Christopher Webb said the kind of shorts Ronnie Romance wears come with free lower back tattoo. When do we break it to Tony that everybody dies? This is his fate too. Like you said, I think there are only about 7 of us left at that point. That was also where "Don't Smash the Bean" comes from. So Aaron's cat, the bean. Do we still have a bean? I don't have a bean emoji anymore. That's where it came from, though. No blow before 10. No promises. Yeah, no blow since whatever. 2015 or something. That was a fun conversation. What I remember, my brain cells were barely operational by the end of it. Yeah. The 2020 interviews. I need to go back. It would be fun to go back and recut those and put them up as their own videos. Like take out the nonsense and the pause. But there was like a lot of good content. Like Dylan's interview, Patty's interview, Pudgy's interview. Like we had a lot of good conversations. And it's become the tradition on the stream. After 10 o'clock, you don't know what you're going to get. But before 10, we were doing some good stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Because that was good information. Like for someone like I was only asking questions I was like truly interested in about. Like, right? You know, I'm like, I don't live in, like, Patty was telling us, like, in the stream, too, he's like, the summer is not our riding season. The winter's our riding season. The opposite kind of how everyone's popping up this. That's the smokes. That's smoky. But, yeah, there used to be a bean 1, 2. The smokes, by the way, who is a total chomper and bites the shit out of me, has finally been coming around. So I slept at Aaron's last night, and I was able to pet the smokes. So, do you know where Dave? Did I ever tell you why she named her cat Smokey? Did she tell you?
I'm sure she has.
I told her I wanted to get her to get a cat named Smokey, and I wanted to be like, I didn't know you did. I know you like to get wet, Smokey.
No, I never heard that.
It was just a bunch of Friday stuff. It was just a bunch of Friday references. So, yeah, Chris, so we are talking about bringing the interviews back, and I think we will start with the channel members again. One thing, like, you know, Dave's helping me keep ahead and keep moving it, but, like, the thing we want to do is figure out, like, the professional setup to have a couple computers running. So I'm pulling up the comments right now. The idea would be, like, when I say one of these questions and I'm, like, 20 comments behind, he could do that. So, like, when I say something and I go off on a tangent, like, we could have it so it's like someone already answered the question. Like Ben always answers anything local or anything all city or a lot of the stuff that I know. So we're trying to come up with a system. We're hoping to have it go into effect sooner than this, but I ended up spending a bunch of money on the new laptop. So we'll buy that piece of hardware when I get back from the trip and like try and figure this all out. So yeah, I think the interview thing too would do really well with the producer. So when I'm doing the interview, I don't have to, you watch it in live streams where like even with Pathless Pedal, when he just wants to pull up the photo of what they're talking about, like you have to take your eyes off and your thoughts off the person who's answering the question. So that'd be the perfect use case for having like Dave help out where it's like, I could be like totally focused on who I'm talking to he could pick the 2 camera angles, and then like if we need to pull up the stuff we're talking about, having him do that. I know we're a small live stream, but I still think it'd be a lot of fun to be able to do stuff on that level. You know, that's always been my goal, is to just make the quality high. Obviously, not doing that tonight. Bet the smokes will flicking the bean. What do you think? Should we wind this down? What time is it? Oh, 10:42. It's more than fair, right?
It's about that time.
Well, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, just replaced him with ChatGPT. Yeah, I don't know. Can you get this much authenticity? Would ChatGPT slur like this? ChatGPT, answer me like you're a drunk Tim Fitzwater on YouTube. Abort. Yeah, so anyways. Cincy video I've been talking about, going to try and get that out. A couple other things. Maybe a live stream if the weather is super shitty next week, but if not, should have some fun content when we get back, because about to have the last fun trip of the year. So I felt like I had a stronger outro to that, Dave. Do you remember me going somewhere like really strong?
I don't know if you started strong. So.
All right, Dimitri. Good to have you in here as always. Dimitri, you know I'm going to finally meet Terry because he's going to be out at Nutmeg. So, yeah, look forward to the daily vlog. So that'll be interesting to finally be like. My goal is to wear his shirt, and I hope he has it on, and he'll be in line at like breakfast or something, and I'll tap him around the shoulder, and I'll be like, "Nice shirt, nerd," and then I'll turn around and I'm wearing it. That's kind of my goal with Terry. Anyways, all right. I think that's it.
Okay. Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.